Hi, and welcome to Horror Recapped. Today, we're going to look at the 2008 British slasher film by the name of Eden Lake. It features a young couple and their harrowing struggles against a gang of hoodlums and their psychopath leader. Spoilers ahead. Beware. We meet nursery school teacher Ginny Greengrass first, as she leads a classroom of children through gentle instruction. Once she leads the class out, she comes out to her boyfriend Steve in his car. The two of them leave to journey to a remote lake in the wooded English countryside. Steve takes a moment before she joins him, looking over the engagement ring he is bringing along. The drive to the quarry is long, the two of them stopping off at a restaurant where they're given a taste of the locals. The people are loud, and neither Steve nor Ginny seem comfortable as they stay at a small hotel. They continue their trip in the morning, hiking up the lakeside. First, they meet a young boy, Adam, collecting insects by his lonesome. They greet him, but he wants to be left alone, so they continue. By the lakeside, the two spend some quality time. They meet a small group of teenage delinquents who have ridden their bicycles to a spot close by. Their dog is loud and approaches them first, but the teens don't seem bothered by the behavior. After some time passes, Steve approaches the teens and asks them to quiet down. He's met with aggression and mocked as he decides to just return to Ginny. Steve asks her to join him in the water, but she chooses to stay out. The teens let their dog run up to her again, and the dog barks mercilessly at the woman. The teens again don't seem bothered by this behavior, and soon the group of them leave the beach, and the couple stays back. Finally alone, they sleep overnight in their tent, discovering later that their food and supplies have been infested with insects. Not only that, but their car tire was damaged by a bottle left behind by the teens. They return to town for breakfast, but Steve makes the mistake of mentioning the teens to a local woman, who was quickly defensive of the group. While on their way to return to the tent, Steve notices a house with bicycles he believes belongs to the teens. The back door is wide open, and Steve ventures in when nobody answers. A few moments go by, and Ginny is accosted by a local man trying to return home. As they've parked in front of the driveway, Steve narrowly escapes from the window as the homeowner comes in looking for his rowdy son. Back at the lake, Steve dives into the water while Ginny rests on the shore. Steve is ready to propose to his girlfriend. The two of them realize that the bag containing their phone, car keys, and wallet is missing, learning very quickly that the car, too, is gone. They return to town on foot, avoiding collision with their vehicle, driven recklessly by the teenagers and their ringleader Brett. After nightfall, the couple finds the gang in the woods, and Steve demands the return of his belongings. The teens pounce on him with a knife in hand, after refusing they took anything in the first place. Brett's dog Bonnie is knifed in the scuffle, which provokes Brett into a psychopathic rage, looking for revenge. He tosses the keys at the couple, who try to run away and drive off, but the gang throws stones at them, which causes the two to crash their car. Steve is trapped by a branch that has him pinned in a seat, so Ginny runs off to look for help or civilization. She fails to find town, but at daybreak, Ginny sees Steve tied to a rock with barbed wire. Brett orders the gang to torture the man, while Paige is filming them. He seems to want to quickly stamp out any dissension in the ranks. The group soon realizes they have no choice but to kill Steve, knowing that the moment they let him go, he'll call the authorities. Ginny tries to connect to Steve's phone to call the authorities herself, but it reveals her place to the group of raging teens. Steve does his best to buy time for the two of them and frees himself. The two meet up in the woods and assesses Steve's wounds. They share a tender moment in an abandoned shack as Ginny learns Steve had been planning to propose. The two of them are nearly caught by the teens, but Ginny quickly gets them under the shack, into the water below. Unfortunately, Ginny is unable to nurse Steve's fatal wounds herself, but runs off to find help, leaving him nearly unconscious. While running, she steps on a spine that pushes through her foot. Her screams catch the gang's attention. Next, Ginny runs into the boy from before, Adam, thinking he will help her. He leads her to a clearing, saying his mom is on her way, but it turns out he's texted the gang their location instead. The group ties Ginny and Steve's body to a woodpile, and Brett forces Adam to light the bonfire while Paige is made to film it. Ginny narrowly escapes the fire, and the gang burns Adam to death in retaliation. Ginny continues to evade the gang, but runs into Cooper, one of the gang members, stabbing the boy in the neck. Without realizing he had come up to try and help her, she sobs over his body as he dies, overcome with grief at what she's done. Brett finds the body and is thrown further into a rage and beats Harry, one of the other members, to death. Jenny eventually reaches a street and is picked up by a local driver looking for his brother Ricky. He seems concerned about her, but agrees to take her into town. He's looking for his brother, but Ricky is a member of the gang. The driver is trying to help, but exits the van to talk to Ricky and Mark, leaving Jenny to panic alone in the vehicle. As she steals the van and peels off to get away, she runs Paige over while going back to town, but doesn't stop. Once in town, she crashes into a fence at a backyard party and causes a commotion before collapsing. As she awakens, she finds herself being comforted by an unknown woman and her husband, John. She quickly realizes that this is Brett's house from before, causing her to panic, but tries not to alert anyone. She is led to the bathroom after complaining that she feels sick, and John notices Reese's van on his own. One of the adults receives a call, informing them of the dead gang members, whose parents are all in the house. A commotion begins to grow outside of the bathroom, leaving Jenny to fend for herself. She looks for something to defend herself with, as the door is forcibly opened by John and the other party guests. Brett has convinced the adults that Jenny and Steve sadistically murdered Bonnie and the other gang members, and then stole Reese's van. Jenny begs John to call the police, but he refuses. She attacks him with a razor blade that she has picked up in the bathroom, but John and the other partygoers subdue her quickly. John tells Brett to go upstairs and slaps him when he tries to say something. He and two other men take Jenny back into the bathroom. Brett goes up to his room, shutting the door and blocking out the screams from downstairs. He deletes the video Paige took of the gang's crimes, puts on Steve's sunglasses, and stares blankly into a mirror. That's the end of this video recap. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're at it, if you enjoyed the video and want to look into other movies with us, then be sure to like and subscribe to the channel with the notifications turned on. That way, you won't miss a single video.